So when we first got started, when we first got started, there was a guy who actually had gotten started a year before us. And that was the story that we were told by our upline. They're like, this guy, he came in, he put, $100,000 of volume in his business in 11 months. He was able to quit all of his jobs that he was doing at the time, and he was able to do this. And I remember when that happened, it was like, well, if he could do it, I could do it. That was what was going through my mind when we first got started, where I was like, I can hustle, I can talk to people. That wasn't a problem. And so when we were going through it, we were going through the motions, and I kept getting told no, no, no. And then all of a sudden my first year came up, and I was still in the exact place that I was when I first started. And then, we're doing all of this cold market prospecting. At the time, we had moved from my mom's basement to Whit's mom's basement. Mm-hmm. And, I had this little boy who was relying on me, and I had this dream that I was going to be able to retire my husband because he hated his job. And I was failing. And that's exactly how I felt. I felt like a failure. I was failing him. I was failing my little boy. I was leaving my little boy with grandma and babysitters because, when you're making those treks and you're sleeping in your car, you don't necessarily want your 2-year-old right. in the back seat with you. And right. So not only do you feel like a failure as a business owner, I felt like a failure as a wife. I felt like a failure as a mom. And it was frustrating. Like Whit and I don't fight, but if there was ever a more stressful time in our lives, it was when we were trying to build this, because doing it the traditional way, because all we ever talked about when we were together was the business. And I was getting more and more frustrated with the business. He was getting more and more frustrated with the business. And it was in January of 2016 when I looked at him and I was like, I cannot keep doing this. I cannot keep leaving our little boy. I cannot keep putting the miles on the car. I cannot keep doing this. And here I am getting emotional on a Facebook Live. But
it just gave me that's
the way it was. I was like, our family, I cannot keep sacrificing our family. I cannot keep sacrificing our 2 little boys at the time to build this dream that I just didn't think was ever going to come into fruition.
Yeah.